Plan is to solve one CBQ. If time allows, we can also solve two. Today we will be doing Holt Manufacturing case. Okay, I think most of you are solving a case-based question for the first time with me. So this is how we attempt all the questions. I will give you a complete walkthrough of the question. I will explain the story, what is exactly happening. I will also try to explain what each statement gives you or tells you as a hint. Okay. Once our understanding of the case is clear, then we will go to the sub questions. Each case has usually 5 to 6 sub questions. For sub questions as well, I will read out the question. I'll give you some time to attempt and then we will solve it together. Okay. Or you can cross check your answers with me. With that, let's get started. Holt Manufacturing just started its first year of operations. It produces and sells a new type of computer accessory for storing and charging laptop computers. At the beginning of the year, Holt Manufacturing overhead 300,000. Okay, now I'll just take a small break to explain what interpretation you guys should have. See, in general, there are two types of businesses. The moment you see first year of operations, let me ask you guys rather, if a company is in its first year of operations, what do you think is happening inside the business? Two scenarios. Do you think the company has strong estimates? Do you think the company is able to predict its data well? Or do you think there will be certain level of uncertainty? They are fairly new in the market, so there will be certain level of uncertainty. What do you think?
Uncertainty.
Uncertainty.
Correct. There will be good amount of uncertainty. Why? The business is fairly new, so they are still exploring. They'll still understand how the demand changes over time. Usually, okay, when a business goes through its first cycle, let's say a business starts in January and its year in December, this we can call as one cycle. And when this cycle ends, they got to know that okay, some part of it is seasonal. They are able to see high demand. Some part of it is off season. They are able to see low demand. Some part is fairly stagnant. They are not able to see much growth around it. And for this understanding, not just 1 year, couple of years down the line, when the business is established enough, they understand what the competition does. They understand what, let's say, alternative products are doing. After understanding that, then they will have usually strong estimate. But given that we are in the first year of operation, the case study is trying to hint us that, okay, there is some level of uncertainty, which also gives us a hint that there will be difference between our expected amount and our actual amount. It's a small hint. Next. At the beginning of the year, Holt estimated manufacturing overheads to be 300,000. Manufacturing overhead is applied. Be careful with the term applied. Based on machine hours, which estimated to be 48,000 per year, which brings us to the first calculation. Can you guys quickly tell me what would be applied rate in this case? We have estimated overhead
$6.25.
and we
3
have
lakh divided by 48,000.
hours again estimated. So we have 300,000 estimated total hours 48,000 total cost divided by estimated number of hours. This will give us applied rate. Applied rate means a rate that is derived out of our budget. So what do you guys think? What is our rate per hour?
$6.25.
$6.25. Please write this somewhere, okay? Please note it down in your book. So this is the first rate that we have figured out. Next, actual machine hours this year were 41,000. So we got our first difference. Actual machine hours are less. Okay, 48,000 was expected, but 41,000 is what we have spent on the machine. Next, actual manufacturing overhead this year was 260,000. So again, we have spent less as well. Our estimated was 300,000. That we will be spending 300,000. That's our estimate. Actual, we spend only 260,000. Now, Holt uses normal costing. This is another point for revision. There are three types of costing we have studied. Let's quickly revise. We have studied, what's the first type?
Standard costing.
Standard costing. Second one was normal.
Technical.
Actual.
And third one was actual. Now, can you guys quickly tell me what rates did we use? Under standard, for now there were two categories. If I hope you guys recall, एक category था DM and DL costs का, and there was one category of manufacturing overheads. There was a blue table we had discussed in the class. I hope you remember. So as per that blue table, I had given you rates for standard. What were the rates?
Standard rate.
Standard rate for DM DL. What about this?
Standard. Predetermined.
It's also standard.
Again, standard rate. I mean, that's the beauty of standard and actual. Both rates are standard, both rates are actual. Over here, actual rate. Over here, actual rate. This is where it gets interesting. DMDL, what rate, and manufacturing overhead, what rate for normal? Let's start with DM and DL.
Standard rate.
Sir, actual, I think.
Actual rate.
Actual rate.
Actual.
Okay. Remember it in this way. When you have DM and DL, DM and DL variable in nature. So when quantity increases, your cost would increase, quantity decreases, cost would decrease. That's why we move towards the actual part. We move towards the actual part. So for this part, we will move towards the actual rate. But overheads is one part for normal costing, which we keep standard. Okay. So please note this down somewhere so that you don't get confused again. Over here, we will use a standard rate. Normal costing is one layer where we move partially towards the actual data, partially towards the actual data. So for DM and DL, we move towards actual rate, but for manufacturing overhead, it is standard rate. Standard rate, or we can also call over here it as applied rate. Rate that comes out of your estimated data. So in our case, when we calculated, what was our calculation? It was 300,000 divided by 48,000.
6.25.
6.25. Which rate is this? This was our estimated total cost.
Standard rates.
Ah,
Predetermined.
correct. This was our total hours. So ये 6.25 हो गया this rate, standard rate for overheads. We were calculating for overheads. So this is the rate that we had calculated. Okay, I hope you guys are now clear with this. This part is revised. And just to give you reference, TK, do remember the table. Let me bring that to our notes so that when you revise this, we'll have it handy. Make sure that you are revising this table from our notes. Okay, we just discussed, we have standard, actual. But when we talk about normal costing, this part DMDL goes towards actual. But this part normalized means standard comes out of your estimated data. Now, how the calculation goes, how we actually calculate the overall part, we will see in the question eventually.
Now, before going ahead, I have a message for you. I'm on a mission to build India's #1 institute for US CMA. So if you're someone who's planning to pursue US CMA and want to be part of our success story, want to give me a chance to build your career, then do consider FinStreet education for pursuing US CMA. Here, the learning is based on real-life applications, case studies. Secondly, there is a dedicated student success manager who will track your progress. And third, the placement model is inspired by IIM Lucknow's placement structure. So placement mentorship plus placement assistance will be taken care by our team. So if you want to pursue USCMA and have any queries around it, you can visit our website to book a call with our experts. Or if you want to join our next batch, you can directly call this number and book your seat. See you in class.
Holt uses normal costing. Holt will account for any underapplied or overapplied manufacturing overhead by adjusting relevant accounts through the proration process. So basically there will be estimate driven, a rate driven calculation, and whatever is the difference. For example, I'll just give you an overview. I don't want to solve it for you, so I'll just give you an overview for now. There will be a rate calculated. In our case, we have actually done that. Then we will adjust it with actual hours. And whatever amount shows up versus whatever is the total actual cost. Total actual cost they have actually given us. Can you see the total actual cost? 260,000. So whatever comes out of your standard rate, estimated rate, normalized rate versus your actual, iska difference will be adjusted through proration process. This is the overview of first paragraph. Next, Holt currently sells only to small retailers in the Midwestern US. The company's sales force is identifying new sales opportunities in the area outside Midwest. So basically what they're trying to do is, chalo, our production is up and running, let's try to grow our company. Sales during its first year varied dramatically from one quarter to the next. So quarter one and quarter two. There will be huge changes whenever we go from quarter one data to quarter two data. Again, company fairly new, this is obvious. This made planning for expenses very difficult. This volatility is expected to continue over next several years. During its first year, the CEO and upper management work together to prepare expense budget for each quarter based on expected sales. See what the company is struggling with. They are fairly new in the market. They have just completed 1 year. They are right now, I think, starting their next year, because the first line of the case study said just completed its first year of operation. So only T0 se T1 they have completed. They have just started with the second year. And now you can come to this part. During its first year, the CEO and upper management worked together to prepare expense budget. So for this year, they worked really hard to make an expense budget for each quarter based on expected sales. Holt is considering switching to participative budgeting process for the upcoming year. Now, participative budgeting is actually a concept from section B. If you observe, the whole case is from section D, but only this line is actually something that goes back to section B. So let me give you an idea of what is participative budgeting or what are different types of budgeting. One is authoritative or authority-based budgeting. Basically, you have your CEO, you have your upper management who will decide the budget and they will send overall information across the company. This is authoritative budget or authority-based budget. But there is another approach. A company can ask its upper management, the board of directors can ask its upper management to connect with different managers. So now you have lower management, in middle you have your middle management, CEO and upper management will go to them, take a survey, talk to them, understand historical data, understand what these managers are expecting. So middle management will contribute, okay, give information. Lower management will also contribute, give information. And based on all this, after collecting the data, then your senior management will go ahead and make a budget. So in the first year, which approach did we have? Did we have this approach, which was more authority based, or did we have this approach, which was participation based?
Participative budget, bottom up approach.
हाँ, bottom up भी कहते हैं participation को. First year, we already had authority based. In the first year, they have mentioned CEO and upper management worked on the budget. So in the first year, it was authority based. Now in the second year, they are planning that let's switch to participation based. That's the interpretation. If you go back to the line and read, during its first year, CEO and upper management worked together. So this was authority based budget. ऊपर से नीचे आ रहा था, top to down, top to bottom. But now we have Holt is considering switching to a participative budget. Now it is bottom-up approach. Okay, we will collect data from lower management, middle management, and then we will take our overall calls or estimates. This is the overall story of Holt Manufacturing. So now before we move on to the questions, let me take a quick vote. Can I get Y in the chat if you're crystal clear with the concept? There are some things I have purposefully not calculated because I'm expecting them in the questions. So I've kept it for you. Okay, good amount of votes are coming in. Let's go to the question now. We will have a simple approach in terms of questions. I'll read out the question. I'll give you 2 minutes to solve this without any disturbance. And then I will start solving. Okay. You can share your answers in the chat box. Question number 1. What is the amount of manufacturing overhead Holt should apply for its first year of operations? Now let me give you a hint. We are talking about application of expenses. Whenever we are talking about application, these are hints, okay, I want to give you before you guys can attempt, given that you're solving it for the first time. First, we are following normal costing. So under normal costing, our step 1 is considering what is our estimated cost, what is our estimated, let's say based on whatever driver we have, cost driver we have. I hope you guys recall what are cost drivers we have just discussed in last couple of classes. Based on that, whatever hours we are spending, whatever units we are spending, that will come in the denominator. And this will give you something called as applied rate. And once you have applied rate, this is normal costing. Normal costing is basically mix of actual and standard. Okay, always remember the framework. Standard means dono standard, actual means dono actual. In the middle, you have a blend, actual and standard. If the rate part now is completely standard, so which part can I take as actual? Any hints?
41,000
Actual
hours.
hours.
Hours, exactly. Now when we go towards calculating total cost again, rate will be standard or applied, but in terms of hours, we can take actual hours. And this also connects back to flexible. Okay, I think in the class we had discussed thoda sa how it inclines towards flexible level of budgeting where we have actual quantity, standard price. So similar to flexible budgeting, we have standard rate coming into the picture and quantity will be actual. So with this calculation, can you guys tell me what is the amount of manufacturing overhead we come up with? I'll give you 2 minutes, take your time and share it in the chat box.
Okay.
Okay, Vinita has gone a step further to explain underapplied part as well. Good, Vinita. You're going in the right direction. And I'm glad you're thinking next about what is overapplied and what is underapplied. I don't know the number if it is correct, but good. Approach-wise, it is correct. Okay, I can see good amount of answers are in already. Karthik, you can use the rate and calculate final cost as well. Or chalo, let's solve it together. See, in this case, if you observe carefully, the calculation is very easy. Half of the calculation we had done already. Now, if you observe these numbers, step number 1, calculating applied rate. Overall cost estimated 300,000 as per cost driver number of hours 48. ये आ गया $6.25 per machine hours. Next, going towards calculating step number 2, calculating estimated or let me call this total applied overhead cost. Total applied manufacturing overhead, and it is quite simple. Take the rate, which is the standard part, 6.25 multiplied by quantity, which it should be actual. What is actual quantity in this case? Is it 48,000 or 41?
41.
41,000. Can someone help me with the final number? 256, 250. That should be the answer. Let me check. There you go. This is your answer. And in your exam, see the dollar sign is already mentioned outside. So all you have to do is click on this box and type out 256, 250. Comma is not required. I've gone through all the solutions in CBQ. Please do not use comma. When it's decimal required, they'll tell you कि कितने 2 decimal चाहिए 4 decimal चाहिए. It will be mentioned. Whole numbers only means no decimal. चलो. I hope you guys are clear with first question. Any doubts, any queries before we move ahead? No? ठीक है. चलो. Let's move ahead. For next question, let me create the options for you, because if I show you options, other answer mentioned है. So let me create it. I'll give you two scenarios, okay? What's mentioned in the question. As per our applied rate or as per our applied manufacturing overhead, the cost came out to be 256, 250. Actual cost, let me change color over here. Actual cost that we incurred manufacturing overhead came out to be 260,000. So next question now. Hold dash overhead. Is this under applied or is this over applied? Whatever we have applied, guys, is this under applied or over applied? What do you think?
Underapplied.
Under applied, obviously. Actual cost is 260,000. Applied is 256. This is less. Means we have under applied. जो करना चाहिए था, whatever should have been the cost, उससे कम. That's why under applied. So यहाँ पे the first answer is going to be under applied. Now next, COGS will be dash. How do we calculate COGS? We have our revenue, we have our DM, DL, we have our overheads. This gives us gross profit. This gives us COGS. So when we have a cost which is under applied, what will happen to our COGS to start with? Will this be under applied or over applied?
It's also under.
Underapplied.
Obviously under applied. If this is 256 instead of 260, ये छोटा number है. So COGS will also be a smaller number. So this will be under applied again. And gross profit will be dash.
Overapplied.
Huh. If your cost is low, obviously profit would be higher. Okay. If your cost is low, profit ज़्यादा दिखेगा. That's why this will be over applied. So Holt under applied overhead. So under applied COGS and gross profit will be over applied. That is the second question. Let's see if the answers are correct. Oh, this is overstated. Technically correct is overstated. This will be under applied and this will be understated. Just a quick bifurcation between under applied and understated. This applied means an estimated cost. ठीक है, budget से rate निकाला and we have applied it. It's a budgeted number adjusted with some actual quantity. Understated means it should have been X number, but we have stated it as a less number. So understated. What it should have been उससे कम. Understatement. Overstatement, X number should have been the profit, but we have stated higher profit. That is overstatement. So with this, we can move on to the next one. I think this was fairly easy. Next, we have questions on ABC, activity-based costing. Let me just check with you guys if you guys recall. Guys, what is activity-based costing before attempting the question?
Allocation is based on the activities.
Allocation.
Allocation of cost drivers.
Correct. Correct. Just to quickly revise with you guys, the overall production chain, value chain is broken down into different activities. Once we know all the activities, what we do is we go and check what is their cost driver. Is it driven by machine hours? Is it driven by direct labor hours and so on, whatever is the cost driver. Now, once we have activities, once we have cost driver, then we talk about applied rate. Or in this case, depending on the cost driver, we find out rate per hour, jo bhi hai, or based on cost driver, whatever it is. It could be a unit, it could be an hour and so on. And once you have it, then you allocate the cost. Okay, once you first you determine the rate and then you do the allocation. That's how activity-based costing works. Now coming back to the question, Holt is currently using normal costing, but is considering activity-based costing to allocate its manufacturing overheads. So normal at a total level, it's more of a macro approach. Activity-based is slightly micro approach. You go inside the activities, you find out different drivers for each activity. Use your mouse to drag and drop the steps needed to implement ABC in the correct order. So you have 4 options and you need to find out the sequence. Out of this, which point is correct? So first, kaun sa hai, second, third and fourth. Let's start with the calculation or analysis. Calculate activity allocation rate. I don't think this should be the first. Allocate cost, identify overhead, identify cost driver. Now, can you guys tell me which option A, B, C, or D? Which should be first?
Identify
C.
I think sir C.
Okay.
C.
Is there anyone who thinks D should be first? No, everyone thinks it is C. Correct. C is the correct option when we talk about first in sequence. Reason being, whenever we start with activity-based costing, first is to identify the activity. So identify overhead activities and determine the cost of each activity. This should be your first. Next, a very logical thing. Can you tell me which should be second?
D.
D.
D. D should be the second one. And I think even if you use, I mean, someone who doesn't know costing, someone who doesn't know ABC, if they think logically, they can figure out, okay, if over here it is mentioned, identify a cost driver for each activity, which means we should know the activity first. So you should start with finding and identifying each activity, then assign a cost driver for each activity. So it is correct. This is first, this is second. What should be third, A or B?
A.
A. And then B.
B.
Think about
A.
it. Think about it.
Then B.
Do we calculate first and then allocate, or do we allocate and then calculate? What is
First we
logic?
First we
calculate and then
calculate rate,
allocate.
then allocate.
Exactly. First
A
we
and B.
calculate. First we calculate and then we allocate. Allocation happens at the end. Allocation happens at the last. Okay, so this is the correct chronology. We identify overhead activities. Let me just check the answer as well. Is it matching though? Yes, first we identify overhead activities. Second, finding out cost drivers. Third is to calculate, and fourth is to allocate. Allocation happens at the end. So that's it for this question. Any doubts, any queries?
No, sir.
Okay, let's move on to the next one in that case. Which of the following are benefits Holt could achieve by using ABC? Select two answers. So we are looking at benefits, something that is helping Holt with ABC or by using ABC. Overhead allocation would be more accurate. Accounting system would be less costly to operate. So more accurate, less costly. Understanding what drives overhead costs would lead to cost savings. Savings is a benefit, and are we in a position to find out what is driving? That's the part. D. Holt would be able to make better marketing decisions. Overhead allocations would be lower for all products or services. Two answers. Please type your answers in the chat, or you can unmute and tell me.
More accurate.
A would
A
be
and C.
A and C.
C.
A and D.
Okay, I'm getting A and C, A and D.
A and C.
Okay, Kirti also thinks A and C. So one thing I could see is everyone is agreeing on option A. Let's go through each and every option. Okay, let's analyze. First, overhead allocation would be more accurate. Yes, this is correct. Don't fall for the trap of the word accurate. One student had asked me that, sir, ABC doesn't mean we are completely accurate. And I said, yes, it doesn't mean we are 100% accurate, but we are more accurate than normal costing. We are more accurate than other methods. Yes, ABC is very apt in terms of finding the driver, finding the right application. And we are very close to actual numbers, not exactly same, but we are fairly close. So it is more accurate. This is correct. Next, the accounting system would be less costly to operate. Now, if you think carefully, when we do ABC, instead of having a complete simple view or estimations, we have to go and track each and every activity. We have to collect data from each and every department. Our usual example, right? Maruti Suzuki. If I'm doing activity-based costing, instead of taking overall estimate, now I have to go and check. In my first activity, I have to procure what is my cost, what are the drivers. Second activity, I have to supply, let's say, wherever I'm storing my engine to production house, to production floor. Supply chain hai, there's transportation, what is my cost driver. Within production, now I have to start with assembly of my car. This activity, what is my cost? After assembly, I have to, let's say, polish the car. After that, I have to paint the car. Maybe I have to polish it again. And then I have to do a QC, quality check on it. Then again, I have to supply somewhere else. Again, I have to send it to retailer. किसी showroom में भेजना है. So many activities, so many data to be collected. So do you think this will be more costly to us or less costly to us? What do you think?
More costly.
Most costlier than
As
ABC.
compared to other methods, this is more costly. Okay, so this is not less costly. So option B is out. Next. Option C. Understanding what drives overhead cost would lead to cost savings. Now, when we talk about ABC, we know all the activities. And now I suddenly know that our painting is taking too much time. painting is taking too much time. Maybe the painting is not done properly. Maybe correction is required. Maybe we have to redo some of the cars. And once I know this is taking too much time, too much cost, what I can do is I can put more supervisors over there, or I can automate that process. Instead of manual painting, I can buy some robots to paint that. So what am I doing? I'm taking view of my whole activity based flow. I find out, okay, which is very expensive for me, which is costly to me, and now I can focus on savings. So do you think this is doable under ABC? Yes.
Yes.
That's why, again, I'm putting C on hold. I think this is correct. Now let's go to D as well. Holt would be able to make better marketing decisions. Costing approach change करके how can I take better marketing decision? Let's say as I have to select the right campaign. Should I go for a discount campaign or should I hire a celebrity for better brand recall? Should I hire Ranveer Singh? I think Ranveer Singh, nahi, Karthik Aryan hai na? I don't know. Karthik, whoever is the celebrity who is promoting Maruti Suzuki. Versus instead of hiring Karthik, should I just give discount and promotes that discount? Now, ye decision, how is ABC helping in this decision?
It is not
Soumya.
helping.
So Soumya and we had one more person, someone who said D. Dikshita. Clear with the logic why option D wouldn't fit in?
Yes.
Okay, great. So option D is currently out. A is selected, C is selected, D and B are out. Let's see E. Overhead allocation would be lower for all products or services. Not necessary. Overhead allocation could be higher and it could be lower as well. Not necessary, it is always lower. Allocation depends on how cost driver is performing. अगर driver में if there are less amount of hours, cost ज़्यादा है, तो allocation rate ज़्यादा आएगा, allocation ज़्यादा होगा. If the number of units are more, if the number of hours are more, and cost is lower, कम allocation होगा. So again, when it comes to finding out applied rate or activity-based per hour rate, it could be higher, it could be lower. So this is partially correct, not just lower, it could be higher as well. That's why E is also out, which means A and C are the correct answers. Any doubts, any queries?
No.
No. Sure.
No, sir.
Let's move ahead. Fifth question. Now this is coming in from section B. Which one of the following budgeting techniques would best help Holt address the uncertainty in forecasting future sales? Things to focus on. Best help in uncertainty forecasting future sales. Flexible, project, master, zero. What do you think?
Flexible.
Flexible.
Flexible, okay. I'll take this chance to help you revise the concept, all four concepts.
I think, sir, zero based.
Okay, chalo, we'll discuss both. The company is in kind of zero-based budgeting already. Itna first year hi hua hai, it's fairly uncertain, but yes, let's go through each concept. See, when we talk about flexible, what do? We start from master with a complete focus on static data. Static data matlab only estimates, nothing else, only hardcore estimates. But now as we move ahead, we are aware of the circumstances that actual scenario could change. Actual scenario could be higher or it could be lower in terms of units, in terms of other factors. So under flexible, we adjust. Under flexible, we adjust to actual scenario. And then eventually at the end of the year, we look at a complete actual scenario. When we are talking about flexible, it is mix. It is actual plus standard ka mix. But at the end of the year, it is completely actual. So when we are talking about something that goes around uncertainty and something we need to forecast in better terms, out of all the given options, if you see, this is not good. Why? Completely static. Actual data may, I mean, there's no forecasting. Actual is like, okay, this is how the data is. There's no much forecasting in actual data. So in terms of flexible, this is a good option to start with. Okay, we are adjusting our data as per the actual circumstances, and there are some standard estimates we are using in it. So let's keep this one on hold. Let's keep this one on hold for now. Now coming to project budgeting. What is project budgeting? Anyone who wants to try?
Making budget for a particular project. It can be for 1 year or more than that.
Yes.
We are budgeting this for particular time.
Correct. To give you an idea now on this, imagine that we are doing operations as usual, but usme we have now a specific project coming up. So now we are estimating only for this project, not for our overall business, not for our overall operation, just for the project. This project could be short-term project, long-term project, depends. So not specifically, period is also defined, but this is only focused on a specific project. Now using this approach for our overall business, for our overall operations as usual, not the best thing to start with. Okay, so time being, I will put this on hold, but I am not so inclined. Why? Because I think option A is better than B. Would best help. So there is, I mean, we want the best possible answer. So I think A is better than B. So I'll put this on hold, but I'm not inclined towards marking this. So I'll put this as a cross for now. Next is master budgeting. We just discussed. Pura data static hai between flexible and master. Flexible is obviously better. Okay, why we are adjusting at least towards quantity, at least some part of the data we are adjusting as per actual data or actual data coming. And lastly, we have zero-based budgeting. What is zero-based budgeting? Think of it in this way. We are running our company for last 10 years or 15 years or 20 years or plus more than that. Okay. For a good amount of time, we are running our business. And now what we think that, hey, whatever we are doing, is it correct? Is it the best possible approach? Can we innovate? Can we cut down our costs? Can we change our things? Can we re-engineer the process? I hope you guys are able to recall re-engineering, innovation, backward engineering, वगैरह जो भी है.
Yes, sir.
So it is useful when we are in such circumstance. Now our business has just started. एक ही साल हुआ है. Fairly uncertain. Do you think then this is the best budgeting approach to use?
No, sir.
No, already उसी phase में ही है. Or to some extent we are already at zero. We are not at day zero, but fairly new to the business. So again, not the best approach, which gives us option A as the last option, flexible budgeting. So before moving ahead, a quick question. Any doubts, queries regarding question 5?
No, sir.
No? Okay. So now this brings us to the last question of the case. We have 6 sub-questions in this case. Now the question is asking, which of the following benefits would Holt most likely receive by implementing a participative budgeting process? Now it's a good thing that we have already discussed. Participative is bottom up. Okay, we collect data and then take decision. Top down is something that we have done in year 1. First, there would be less budgetary slack involved. Let me quickly revise this with you. Guys, what is budgetary slack?
Underestimating revenue and overestimating cost.
Correct. Underestimating revenue and overestimating cost. For example, there is a manager who knows that revenue estimate. He's expecting revenue to be 40,000. Okay, just an example. But what he will do, he will purposefully set a target. He will tell his management that my estimation is only 35,000. He's doing this purposefully. Why? When he actually gets revenue of 40,000, he will say, look, I have outperformed. Give me bonus, give me incentive. This is one example of budgetary slack. In terms of cost as well, let's say cost estimation is 60,000. So what will manager do? Manager will say that our estimated cost is around 70,000. Okay, he will tell the management that our cost is 70,000. End of the year, when he knew already 60,000 hoga. So end of the year when 60,000 comes up, he will go to the management and say, "Arey, see, I was expecting 70,000, but I've closed our operations, yearly operations at 60,000 only. Give me bonus, give me incentive." That is budgetary slack. Okay. And do you think this becomes a risk when we do participative budgeting?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
This definitely becomes a risk. Why? Because again, managers will have this kind of bias. So management have to think about it. Upper management. Chalo, continuing now. We are looking for benefits. We are looking for benefits of participative budgeting. There would be less budgetary slack involved. Next, employees would be more motivated to fulfill budgetary goals. Lower level managers would receive on-the-job training in budgeting. Less time would be needed to prepare budgets. Budgets would be less accurate. Help me with your answers in the chat box. I'm getting different answers, which is interesting. Those who are saying option A, guys, think about it. We just discussed budgetary slack. Is it a risk? I mean, budgetary slack badhega ya kam hoga? We are now talking and collecting data from managers. Your budgetary slack would increase. Biasness towards submitting data would increase. Chalo, I can see majority of the answers as B and C. Some of you have also marked D as the answer. Let's go through all the options and discuss each option. So this is the question mentioned. Now, first thing we just discussed, would there be less budgetary slack? No, we are collecting data from managers, especially lower management, middle management, and these managers will try to underestimate revenue and overestimate cost so that end of the year, their performance looks good. They will try to submit such numbers that their performance purposefully looks good. Okay. So your budgetary slack would increase there. And I'll repeat, they will overestimate costs and show up less cost at the end of the years, and they will underestimate revenue to show higher revenue, which is a risk. So this is out. Next, employees would be more motivated to fulfill budgetary goals, which is good. I mean, imagine that, right? We have a company, CEO comes to you, gets data, gets targets. So do you think these guys would be motivated, or do you think these guys won't be motivated? They will be motivated. Imagine someone is coming, checking with you, you have committed a goal. Now, once you have committed a goal, you will work towards it. Sales target ho ya cost optimization target ho, you will work towards it. So I think this is in the right sense. So I'll put this on hold. Next, lower level managers would receive on-job training in budgeting. Now, when we need budgeting data, we have to train them. So it is obvious that lower level management, if they are new to this, we train them. So this also seems feasible. This will be also one of the benefits to highlight. Next, option D. Less time would be needed to prepare budget. Now, some of you have actually marked this option. And here's my question. Think of a business like Reliance. It's a big business and there are many managers at the bottom. So there are two approaches now. Approach one, the CEO goes ahead, upper management comes ahead and it prepares a budget. Approach number two, the CEO and upper management goes to each and every manager, take a survey, collect data, again go to the middle management, meet all the managers, collect data, and then consolidate all the data, then prepare a budget. Which one will take more time? CEO just going ahead and creating a budget or collecting data and then making a budget?
Collecting data.
Correct. This will take so much time when you have such a big company and you're collecting data. So less time would be needed to prepare budget. Do you think because of participative less time would be required? No, we will take more time. So this is also out. Next, budgets would be less accurate. Budgets would be less accurate. Now, when we are collecting so much data, is it necessary that budget will be less accurate? Not necessary. It could be more accurate as well. It could be less accurate as well. Both are possible. So these are the answers which are partially correct or correct with a certain condition. And over here, again, then this is not the best answer possible. Now, in this case, B and C looks more apt. Apt means appropriate in terms of given context. So let's see if B and C are the answers. B and C are the answers. So with this, we come to end of our case study.
So Aditya, how do we know that there is a more than a two options?
How do we know there are more than two options?
For example, here is a B and C. Is the more appropriate answers.
Yes.
Okay, it will given in the question basically.
Select two answers. Yes. Okay. And usme bhi na, so they'll give you select two answer, three answer. One more thing, lot of students asked me that, sir, if we have marked now, yahan par B and C are correct. If someone has marked A and B, will they get marks for marking B? Yes, the answer is correct. You will get half of the marks. Jitna bhi assigned hai, you will get per option marks as well. So partial marking is there. And one more thing, as we discussed, there could be 3 or 4 correct options as well. We have to select the best answers, or some answers are correct with certain conditions, with certain assumptions. We have to avoid such answers. I hope that helps. Rohan?
Yes, sir, you
Good.
got my doubt. Partial.
Acha, yahi doubt tha. Okay. With this, we come to end of our first case. I think abhi 11 baje hai. So let's do one thing. I'll give you a short break and let's do one more question. You guys are fine with one more question?
Yes.
Yes, na? ठीक है.